glasses a little crooked. What the hell? All right. All right, so we are back again with another dope episode. Tonight we have prominent DJ Al Pizarro. He is from the New York area and he is a Billboard Magazine reporter and the CEO and founder of Hip Hop Boulevard. He's also an author, the author of the book Am I the Father? So y'all give a warm welcome to Mr. Al Pizarro. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Word
you. Let me
up.
get our team on here. What's up, everybody? All right. All right.
How
All
you doing? How you doing?
right. Thank you
Mm.
for joining us this evening.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. So we want to talk to you today. We know you are the CEO and founder of Hip Hop Boulevard. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that get started? What was the inspiration for that?
That happened by accident. A friend of mine called me up to a meeting that he was having with an individual, and my friend is basically he finds Latin athletes for basketball, football, baseball, all over the world. And he was having a meeting with a gentleman who wanted to change the name of the street at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. And for 6 years, he went to everybody, and he couldn't get it done. So my boy called me up. His name is Julio Pabon, and Julio called me and said, "Al, I'm in a meeting with a guy, hip hop. This is your world. You want to come down and meet?" And then I came down and I met the gentleman, and we talked. And I said, "So why hadn't this gotten done?" And he said, "Because everybody told me they could do it. They couldn't do it." I said, "Okay, what do you need me to do?" And I said, "Okay, let me see if what I can do." And I called my son, and between 2 days, we got it all done what he needed to do. And then after that, it was 2 years of trying to convince the city of New York that it was worthwhile changing the name.
Wow. Wow. So I know that there were some hip hop pioneers that were involved in with Hip Hop Boulevard, like Coca La Rock and T La Rock, DJ Jazzy J, Grand Wizard Theodore. How did they get it? How did they all get involved?
Family.
Ah.
We grew up together. So Jazzy J and me are like brothers from another mother.
Salute.
Theodore and me, we grew up together. I know his older brother, and we hung out together. Matter of fact, when I was first DJing, that's how I met his older brother. So all them guys I knew growing up, and I owned VIP record pool and S.U.R.E record pool, and through those record pools, I met all the DJs all over New York City, and became like the number one record pool for hip hop, house music, and freestyle music across the country.
Wow. So a lot of people don't know what a record pool is. Can you explain to our audience what that is and how it's beneficial?
For lack of a better term, it's like a membership club of professional DJs, and they get promotional records that you can't buy in a store.
Got it. Okay, so it's like basically like a subscription for like exclusive content or exclusive music. Um,
Records that you hear it on the radio, but you
uh,
can't get in the store.
all right,
All these
that's
extended versions of different stuff. Sometimes we get asset plates from different producers and stuff, and we would get this and we would give it to our DJs, and it was a very revealing time because it was the very beginning of hip hop, the start of house music, the start of freestyle music. So I was at the beginning of all these different types of genres of music.
yeah.
But what made it different is that I dove into it like a record company dives into a label. Then when they have their label, they go and they say, "Okay, we have an R&B division, we have a hip hop division, we got a pop division," and that's what I did with the record pool.
Mm.
So I had a house, I had hip hop, I had freestyle, I had a record pool in Miami, and I had a record pool in Chicago. That's how I got all the house music from Chicago. And then in Miami, that's how I got all the freestyle music out of Miami.
Mm.
So I was able to turn uh, an idea, concept, and build it to a company that had a multitude of famous DJs that came out of there. At the same time, I was doing educational meetings, teaching them about the business, everything from publishing to producing your own records, engineering, and all that. So all my guys that were in my pool all were able to excel in the field that they wanted.
Nice. Nice. So you guys made sure that the DJs got all of the, the up and coming and um the content that was not already out there. And so how did so you guys got you won an award, or you won a best name, you were named the best rap record pool by Gavin Magazine from 1996 to 1999. So how did that feel, and what, like, how did that inspire you?
Well, incredible because when first thing, I had the record pool in my mom's apartment in the projects. So coming from somebody who's living out of the projects and running a business out of the projects, that was incredible to get acknowledged that way.
Yeah.
But to win it the first year was like, we're over the top. Wow, oh man, we won. The second year was like, holy crap, we won again. The third year was like, yo, y'all gotta pass the torch to somebody else. There's gotta be somebody else doing the work that we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're also a writer for Billboard. You're a reporter for Billboard Magazine, correct?
Well, I used to be when I was a DJ, I was a Billboard reporter. At the time when I was DJing, I think they only had 50 reporters in the world. So to become a Billboard reporter was a big deal. They just didn't give it to anybody. And I was a record pool owner. So as a record pool owner, that was something forbidden. You couldn't be a record pool owner and be a Billboard reporter at the same time, because they thought that you would get corrupted. So you would use your power to get more records for your record pool. But I got a letter from a gentleman, Greg Rouse, who passed away. He used to work for Select Records, and Curtis Urbina, who used to work for Emergency Records. And those two individuals wrote a letter to Billboard and said, this is the one exception in the case. And they said, Al's integrity is unimpeached. And we were putting our company name on the line, and that he should become a Billboard reporter. Now, meanwhile, all the other record pools were pissed off. They're writing letters to Billboard. This can't happen. It can't be that. But it happened. I became a Billboard reporter, and I made sure that I did not tarnish that responsibility.
All right. And go ahead. Yeah.
No,
somebody else saying something?
I said it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you came up at a time where hip hop was just starting to bloom, and
before it started. Before it started.
So you saw it. You were on ground zero, and with that, there were like all these clubs that started to pop up, right, for the hip hop scene. Mirage, Tapestry, People's, 109 Gallery. How did those clubs influence the broader hip hop scene?
Well, understand that I was working in Latin clubs, but I was working in Latin clubs. But my friends were Tila Rock and Jazzy J, and they would come to the club, and they want the mic.
Right.
They want the mic, and I'll play a beat, and they'll be on the mic, and they'll do whatever they want to do. The bosses will be pissed off at me, but it was evident by the crowd how they were, how they were reacting to them and everything. And I kind of flipped it on them when they were like, well, this seems to be working, so we're gonna let the DJ do what he's doing, because they're drinking at the bar and we're packing the house, and that's what they cared about. But that was my way of just being able to just change the narrative, because I think a DJ, you have specialized DJs. You have a DJ that only plays hip hop. You have a DJ that only plays R&B. You have a DJ that only plays Latin. I think a DJ should be able to play all music. My opinion is you should be able to play all music.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. And then as far as, because I don't think people realize how important the DJ is, right? Like I think people kind of overlook that. So tell us like how you feel about the impact the DJ had on the hip hop on hip hop as a whole in general, just from the beginning.
Think about it that the DJ was like the break, the lunchtime, the morning ride, or the ride coming out of work. Then the DJ became the star. All of a sudden now, DJs were not only getting prime time, but they were becoming radio announcers. They were producing records. They were playing at least 4 to 6 times a week and hitting a crowd, depending on the station, of more than 1 million people. So their influence grew. But more importantly, when the tricks came in, when the Grand Wizard Theodore and the Grandmaster Flash and the Jazzy J's of the world and Jazzy Jeff and all that, when they came into play, it was the tricks and
Hmm.
how they went and scratched the record, how they spin it back, how they did the needle drop, how they did all this stuff, continuously keeping the beat.
Hmm.
Mm.
So now with the skill sets, I can share one story with you that'll probably nobody knows this. So DMC is the originator of the DMC competition worldwide, and they're from London. Tony Prince was the owner. I think his son is running it now for DMC. And Tony called me up one day and told me, Al, I'm having a DJ competition, and I need to do one in New York. Can I do one in the Bronx in your club in La Mirage? And I said, Tony, I don't know anything about this DJ competition stuff that you do. He said, Al, I'm going to set everything up, get me the club, and I just want a couple of people to compete. Lo and behold, who competed that day was Jazzy Jeff with Will Smith.
Mm.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Boom.
Right.
Right.
Mind blown.
Right. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Mind
Jazzy
blown.
Jeff and Will Smith. I mean, I don't know how many people I followed Will Smith from those days. I don't know how
Couple
many people
names
have.
people might know.
I followed Will Smith. I was with Will Smith through from the days of Jazzy Jeff. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So that was
Um.
they didn't even start. This is just them competing in that competition. And then
Crazy.
after that, they went to Philadelphia to compete after they did the thing in the Bronx.
Hmm.
Mm.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Cash Money by chance? Philadelphia?
No,
Or
I know
somebody else?
Cash Money. I never had a dealing with him other than promoting his label and all that. But
Okay.
other than that, that's it. Cause when we started the pool in Miami, everybody in Miami that was in the music business started hitting me up with joints. So I was just getting them, and then I was the guy who was able to bring in the Dirty South music because
Mm.
nobody was touching it. Nobody. That's how I got hired by Death Row because nobody was touching. If you were in the East Coast, you were not playing Dirty South. You were not playing LA music. You wasn't playing none of that stuff. Period.
Hmm.
Period. It
Hmm.
was just like we don't do that. So here come Al, and I said, you know what? It's good music. I like it. I'm gonna play it. And I told my guy, you should listen to this. And you should play it. And before you know it, everybody is on it because it's good music. Because it shouldn't be because of where they're coming from. It should be, is the music good enough to play for your
Fact.
Right.
crowd? And what
Fact.
may not be good enough for your crowd here may be great somewhere else. So don't take it away that just because you don't like it here, that you go somewhere else, you hear this record and say, wait, I hate that record. And the crowd going crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Seen
Yeah.
that. Seen
Yeah.
that
It's
definitely.
right. I think it's about what the crowd likes, and I think sometimes that's forgotten. It's more about pleasing whoever with playing certain music, different music types. But it's great to have DJs that actually listen to the crowd and follow the crowd and flow with the crowd. So um I love that. But you also have a company, a promotion company, or you have a promotion company called Heavy Rotation Promotions.
So I
Now that was
started that I started that with Buddha Sets.
Yeah.
And me and Buddha started that company a long time ago when I started seeing that labels were willing to pay you to promote their music. We were already breaking records just with giving out the records.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to make sure that the record got that extra play in the club, that extra spin on the radio station, that extra attention. And I said, okay, that's going to cost you some money. So we started a promotion company, and we are very successful with that. And till this day, I still consult people on different things because I feel that the music industry is has always been frowned upon. If you tell your parent, I want to be in the music business, they say no. You need something that's gonna give you a 401k, that's gonna give you the insurance that you need, all that kind of stuff. You don't want to be in the music business. Everybody's a crook in there. So I can say honestly that 80% of the people are definitely just out for the money. And 10% probably do the hard work, and the other 10% can deliver.
Wow.
So I talk to people who have dreams,
Mm.
and they have dreams of achieving something, and I give them the foundation. I don't have to like the music. I'm going to give you the foundation to be successful in what you're doing. When you have great music, it's going to automatically mushroom because the foundation's already there. But people forget that it's a music business. It's business first. Music is the passion, but it's business. So handle your business first, and then let your passion flow.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Real.
I mean, you ran campaigns for some very big hitters, such as Death Row, New Tribe Records, Virgin, A&M, Priority. I mean, tell us about those. Like, how did you run those campaigns, and what type of campaigns did you run for those guys?
I did something totally different than everybody else. You could give a record to a DJ. You can ask the DJ to play a record in the club. You can ask the DJ to play it on the station. But you have to do a little more than that. You have to connect with the audience. You have to connect with the culture. You have to connect with the people. So I don't know if you remember that there used to be stickers and posters everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do
that was
remember
my
that.
team. There were three people doing that.
Hmm.
There was P. Diddy that was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy named called the General that was doing that. And there was me. So three people were doing that. So if you ever see a Hey AZ sticker, if you ever see those orange stickers still on the poles and everything,
Yeah.
that was
Yo,
me.
what?
That was me.
What?
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
That's
So
crazy.
the sticker
Exactly.
campaign was something that I thought of because if I'm driving and I'm stuck on the bridge and I see something out of my line of sight and I just look at it and I keep on driving, that's what I see. It stays right here in my head.
Yeah.
So I said, what is that hazy? What is that, the loonies? What is that? I'm seeing this all over the place. Your
Mm-hmm.
curiosity is going to say, okay, let me find out what it is. And that was my thing. So all the bridges, everywhere you went in and out of New York, I had it locked down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know. Everybody on here has seen those flyers, bro. We've all seen those
Yes.
flyers.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Look, I'm gonna hit you. You have everybody in here in New York besides me. But I still rep New York as well. Brooklyn. I stayed up in Brooklyn. I have an aunt that lived up there. I got a best friend in Queens that moved to the Bronx. Married to a woman that's from New York as well. We got Austin from Queens. Tasha's from Brooklyn. We got John from Brooklyn but lives in Queens. Everybody knows about them flyers, bro. We seen them. We seen them growing up,
Yes.
bro. We seen them growing up
Everywhere.
everywhere. So
So
y'all did y'all thing.
so I was so good at it. Death Row flew me out to Detroit and to North Carolina to enhance their team, and then they took me out to L.A. to kind of shape up their team. So that's when I started touring with the company and started learning a little more about different states and what they do and what they like and all.
Mm-hmm.
You were
So
dropping
Al,
some jewels today, man. It's messing my head up.
yeah. What impact? What impact did working with VIP Promotions Kevin Black have on promotional strategies of that particular era?
Kevin Black was the senior VP for promotion for Death Row and for Interscope Records. And what he did for me, and I call him to this day. I still call him and say hello and check up on him. He said, Al, tell me what you need. Now imagine somebody asks you that and then fills it out with a checkbook and gets everything that you need for what you're just imagining you want to do. And that's what he did for me. He let my imagination roll that I was able to do everything that I want to do. And so I was ahead of the curve with a lot of people because I don't know how they dealt with their labels. I know I had a one-on-one relationship with this guy where he just said, let's get Al on the phone and tell him this and that and find out what he thinks about it. So he would get Death Row was getting accounts because Death Row was blowing up in markets they shouldn't have. But it was the respect of my DJs because they knew I was a DJ also, and the ability to be able to have a dialogue with them and convince them, listen to this record, and when they listen, they said, "Yo, Al, this is hot. Play it at your club. Be the first swarm." And I said, and then it was the thing of teaching DJs how to break a record. I don't understand it. Today, you go to a club and you listen to a record, maybe you hear it for a minute or two, and then another joint will come on. No way to break a record. You want to break a record, you go to a club, you have to hear it. If you're there in that club, you have to hear it at least 3 times in that night. So that way, when you leave out of that club, you're going to say to yourself, what was that joint, man? That bounce, rock, skate, well, what was that joint? It's in my mind. But that's how you broke the record. Yeah. Today is not about that. It's about, how do I keep the crowd excited every minute, throwing little samples of each record. So you don't get to really hear a whole record for what it was. You get a piece of it. So now when you go home, you say, damn, what was that? It was something I heard. I heard some clapping in it. It was somebody singing. Do you remember that? No, girl, I don't remember that. Yeah. So, it takes away from breaking records. So the power goes back to the radio station now, where the radio station can play the joint a lot longer because they're required to, Yeah. They got to be able to get picked up. And I don't know if they're still doing BDS, but they got to be able to be picked up by BDS to be able to determine what record was played and when it was played. So that way, everybody could get paid.
Yeah. You know what's so funny is that I remember when I used to club when I was in my 20s, and we used to get mad at the DJ if they played the song too long. Like, go to the next song. So it's so funny that you say that. You play the snippet, but then we go home and try to figure out you're right. We go home and try to figure out what the heck was that. Now you got to find it and get the record. You know what I mean? Or listen for it on the radio. Like, that's the song we heard. That's the song we heard. So it definitely was a strategy.
But look, when I was a DJ, I play a record. You're not going to hear the record the same way you heard the record from beginning to end. I'm going to change that record up or kind of twist it, do all kind of stuff like that to that record, and then go into the next one. But it's just, the tools are so easy for DJs today to do what we used to do back then. And we used to study and work on it, because you had to know your BPMs. You had to know your bars. You had to know what was it a minor, was it a major sound. You had to know all this stuff from coming from one record to another. Because if you came from one record and went to another and that volume dropped, because remember, the studios back then, sometimes you had a good mastering house and sometimes you didn't. Sometimes you had a guy who was into his own little world in engineering, and he didn't know, like, why do we need the bass so loud? We don't need the bass so loud. We don't need this, that, all that kind of stuff. So when you change records, it drops. And people notice that drop. So unless you're really good with your system and you're preparing for it, so you're going in, I'm going to raise the mic, I'm going to bring this record in, and right now, this record don't got the bottoms like this record I just played right now, and I'm coming off of that. So you have to think about all that stuff now. All that stuff is right there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey Al, I wanted to break down real quick before we go any further. Can you give us a brief synopsis of BDS? A lot of people didn't know what that acronym is going to be, so we want to just give the audience a little bit more information of that acronym. I know my team knows, but a lot
Broadcast
of people don't know.
data system.
Say it again.
So broadcast data system. So real simple. How does an artist make money when the record is being played on the radio? There's a company called BDS, if they're still around, because it's been a while for me, and they go and they monitor every single record being played in the world. So if your record is played in China and it's played for, I think it has to be more than, I think now 30 seconds. Before it was like a minute.
Yeah.
So if it's played for a minute, it registers. Ching ching. That means you're gonna get paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's BDS. Then sound scans were the record stores. Every time there was a record bought,
Mm-hmm.
ching ching, you got paid for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the artists just want a small they got it, it's better than what it was with the streaming. They were getting paid with Spotify. Can I say Spotify? But they were getting paid, less than a penny, and now they're getting paid a penny. How do you feel about all of that? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Just curious.
Yeah, that's a good question. Right?
Remember when Napster came out?
Yes.
When
Yeah.
Napster came out, everybody thought it was a joke, but they were giving away free music. Record
Mhm.
companies didn't think about that, right? And they let it go by.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the same case. Right now, they're getting away with the streaming. But think about it. Why are they only getting a penny?
Mm.
We have no clue.
Right? Why are they only getting a penny? Because if a million people are listening to it, and now you're giving everybody a penny, now how much money are you making from the million people listening to it?
Yeah.
So that's a Napster situation. And very soon, because I'm in touch with a couple of different organizations about to change that whole dynamic. And I can't speak about it.
Ah.
Oh man.
Wow, man. I was ready for the information. You know what I mean?
Everybody got a little bit of an exclusive.
Exactly.
He had us on a cliffhanger.
Right.
Right. Well, when you get that all together and that comes to fruition, we'll have you back on so you can explain.
Oh, you're gonna hear about it. It's gonna be a loud statement.
Yeah. All right.
And
Awesome.
this is what Hip Hop Boulevard is about. Hip Hop Boulevard is about how do we move forward using hip hop as the conduit.
Mm.
How do we move forward in all the areas? Let's not just talk about music.
Mhm.
Let's talk about your finances. Let's talk about your health. Let's talk about your education. Let's talk about your living conditions. Let's talk about politics.
Mhm.
Let's talk about your social well-being. Let's talk about your ideology. Let's talk about all those things because hip hop now is all over the world. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. And the people the architects are not making that money.
Mhm.
And they're not making those decisions. So Hip Hop Boulevard is about changing the narrative in all those areas. So we work real hard, being fair to everybody.
I love it. It sounds like bridging the gap between the art and the business, right? Like just kind of on that line for the artist. I love that. So we are at the time. I'm looking at the time, and we have a segment of our show where we like to have a little fun. It's called Playtime. I'm gonna let Arson, explain it to you. It's a game that we play each show, so Arson's gonna explain the rules of the game to you.
Um, First of all, let me say it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. Um, this is the part of the show that we call Playtime. Now, this is how Playtime works. We got six wheels. Six wheels. We got six songs on. We got six songs on the wheel. Whatever number that lands on, you tell us about that song. Now the song. Here's the thing. Here's how the rules work with the song. When that song that it lands on, you tell us where you was at, how it influenced you in music, and if you have any embarrassing moments that happened to you when the song was out at the time. Now that's your mission should you choose to accept it.
All right, the tape is gonna, explode after that.
Oh, boom.
Let's go for it.
All right, man. Roll that beautiful beam footage, brother.
All right, we're rolling. LL Cool J, I'm bad. What you got there, Al?
So let's hear the track a little bit. Can we do that?
Nah, we can't.
Can't hear the track?
No, we can't hear the track.
LL,
Okay,
I'm bad. Let me stop.
All right, so look.
Yeah.
So look. Was this the track that LL came back when Cannabis or somebody was arguing about his credibility in hip hop?
No, I don't know. Nah, I'm bad. This,
85, I think, right?
yeah,
85,
this was,
86.
This
yeah.
is when he first came out.
This is when he first came out, man.
Hold on.
This was not one of the.
Oh man, it's right in my head, but I'm singing like the whole song in my head right now, and I can't focus on one.
He said I took a muscle bound nigga and put his face in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember, yeah, he jumped on the boxes and he had the red tango on, man. It's the first time he ripped his shirt off like Hulk Hogan.
So what I can do is I can tell you an LL story.
Okay.
All
right. So Tila Rock, me and Tila Rock, we hang a lot. And at that time, LL just got signed to the label. And they wanted T to hang out with him for whatever reason, whether to pick up his style or whatever the teacher would come, whatever the case may be. LL was young and cocky and all that stuff. And I know that T was like he want to focus on himself. When you're a rising star, you don't want to really go and spend your time for a young star. But he saw something in LL and he told me, he said, Al, this kid's going to blow up. I said, you think so, bro? I said, yeah, this little run. Because remember, LL he didn't look the way he looked now.
Right.
So back then, he was, I think if he was wet, maybe 110 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look how I'm looking. Yeah. Look at him back then. And tell me, he muscled up and all that in the last, 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Oh my God.
But if you go from the very beginning, the hat was bigger than him.
Yeah, it was.
That was before In Too Deep, too.
Oh my God.
Hey, shout out to LL Rock the Bells, man.
Oh, no.
Hello,
Doing
man.
a great job.
I gotta say my favorite line from the song. So forget Oreos, eat Cool J cookies.
Cookies.
Bad. That's it. I was trying to remember.
You just hungry. You just hungry.
Yeah, you is. Yeah,
I
you.
was like, the whole song was in my head.
She heard
Let me drop something for you guys. I believe, I'm a born again Christian, right? So I believe that God said, I'm going to take a group of people that are already destined to lose. They have nothing. Everything is burnt down. Everything is in rubbles. And out of those ashes and those rubbles, I'm going to have them create words that the whole world will recognize. That's what I believe. I believe that hip hop has been anointed because there's no other genre of music that has accomplished and continues to accomplish what hip hop has done. And I want you to think about that, because compare it to rock and roll, compare it to R&B, compare it to every other genre. Compare it. And remember that it's about a music that nobody wanted to play it, hear it, or to exist. And even today, guys that try to do tours, they get charged double, triple the premium for insurance just to use the venue of where they're at.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, this is not my company. This is God's company, and I'm the steward. He just made me a steward of this company. And I'm just trying to do the right thing and be fair and honest in what I do. So I can't sway left. I can't sway right. I have to stay centered. And some people may not like that, but that's the best that I can do, so I can honor him and honoring what I believe he did for all of us.
Right.
Because when they say that the Bible is the living word, what better example do we have that God says it's going to be your words that are going to make you rise from the dirt, the dust, the burnt, because the Bronx was burning. And I will leave you with that thought, because that is why hip-hop moves the way it moves, and nobody can stop it, because nobody can stop God's blessings.
Yeah.
Best company in town, hip-hop.
Thank you.
Right. That's right.
We're gonna roll another one for you, Al.
Got another wheel, man. I got another roll.
Rolling. All right, we got Eric being Rakim, follow the leader.
Oh, man.
Follow the leader.
This is a perfect example of what I just finished talking about. Now, when he came out with this joint, where was I at? Damn. I think I had to be at the Palladium. So we're doing parties at the Palladium. Now, I want you to think about this. I used to do parties in my club. My club hold maybe 800 to maybe 1,500 people. So I talked to Vito. Bruno Vito says, yo, Al, you got to do a birthday party at the Palladium. I said, bro, this is like 4,000 deep. And he said, don't worry. Everybody loves you. They're going to perform for you. I said, all right, Vito, let's see who shows up. The place was jam-packed. And Roman Ricardo was the DJ.
Wow.
And Roman Ricardo played that record, and the place went nuts. And I was, what?
It's a classic.
Oh, no, without a doubt. But to understand that, yeah, but to understand that there's certain artists that can say something and they just say something. And there's certain artists that can say something and it, bam, it impacts you. R&B and Rakim. Perfect example.
All roll. Rolling. And we got the infamous Big Daddy Kane, Smooth Operator.
I went in the crates for this one.
I have to say that was at home base. This is the first time that Buddha was playing for a big venue. And I said, Buddha, you're gonna be the DJ for this thing. And he was like bugging out. And he was a hip hop connoisseur. So he loved his hip hop, but he was nervous as hell. There were like 1,000, 1,500 people in that place, and this is the biggest venue he'd ever been at. And I just told him, go play, you got a DJ, bro, because I got to run this, I got to do this and all that kind of stuff. And those are one of the joints that he played along with Cypress Hill and them. But yeah, he loving Big Daddy Kane.
Smooth operator. We're gonna keep it rolling because you're doing a real good job right now. We keep it light. Public Enemy, Fight the Power.
Oh, my boy.
Come on, man. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm waiting your menu book for this one, huh? You know what I mean?
So they came out with this joint. First thing, Hank Shockley and them were members of my record pool. So this was special. So when they came out with this joint, we were like, as a DJ, you're listening to the record and you're thinking about how many different samples and stuff that they put in this record. Because you're hearing a lot of stuff going on, but yet it's all cohesive. It's all just working together. So when they brought it to the pool and they brought test pressing. So they bring in stuff right off the press and they brought it to go, Al, check this out. This new group that we produced. And I listened, I said, holy crap, bro. This is gonna take everybody by storm. We were on the Grand Concourse at the time when that joint came out. And unbelievable response. I got a platinum record for that.
Salute.
Amazing.
Yes. We're gonna keep it rolling.
Yes.
We're gonna keep this rolling. You having fun so far, Al?
You're bringing back memories.
That's the whole idea.
Come on, man. I got these from your playbook, man. So what you talking, you know what I mean?
What we got?
Kool Moe Dee, Wild Wild West.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
I remember that.
So look. Kool Moe Dee and them, and when I say them, a group of people, I forgot how many guys, girls was on this joint. There was a publicist, his name was Dwayne Taylor. And Dwayne Taylor had just finished doing publicity for Madonna. And he was real hot. And he was like, he really loved Kool Moe Dee. He said, Al, you really got, and I know the Treacherous Three because, Special K is like another brother to me. So, but Kool Moe Dee was breaking off into his own thing. And his relationship, and Dwayne Taylor was a good friend of mine. Talking about a guy who just finished doing publicity for Madonna and everybody was hot on him. And he created, I don't know if you remember the Stop the Violence campaign.
Yeah.
I do remember it.
Yeah, he created that campaign and all that. But he was the force behind Kool Moe Dee to make sure that Kool Moe Dee got all the publicity that he deserved coming out of the Treacherous Three.
Wow.
And Kool Moe Dee is the real humble guy. He's like a big lovable bear. Real humble guy. And but super talented.
We got one more in the chamber. You ready? Let's go. The playback, and the winner is Al Pizarro. Run DMC, Walk This Way.
Come on, man. Al, this is for you, man. Come on. Come on, Al, tell me something, man. You got something for us. Tell me something.
Savvy J, Rick Rubin, Russell Simmons. They're working out of the college, but they're also working out of with Jay over at 1332 Blondale Avenue. And when Rick Rubin came into play with them, Rick Rubin came in and he gave it that crossover kind of feel. Because he was the brain behind Beastie Boys and all that,
Yeah.
So he came in with that feel. The idea to bring in a rock and roll with a hip hop artist and all that was like a brainstorm that could only go two ways: either go big or it fails.
Yep. Or go home.
When I heard this record, did I hear it in the studio? I think I heard that in the studio. I think Jay played it for me in the studio, and they were just like, and that was the other thing with me. They would invite me to the studio. They invite me to a listening session to listen to an artist just coming out or a joint just that they're gonna release or they're thinking about releasing it or they want to extend it or whatever. So this is for the lady in the house. I was there when Prince just got signed to Warner Brothers and he played a solo set for all the DJs at their studio, and an amazing moment. But I think I was in the studio when I heard that record, and I was just like, "Where's this going? What are you guys gonna do? Because you know you can go to white colleges with this."
Right.
I said, you're going straight to white colleges with this.
Yes.
They were like, Al, that's what we wanted to hear. It was an instant hit because it was a lot of friction breaking hip hop into crossover radio.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I don't know. At that time, we used to call them urban stations. A little bit of urban, a little bit of pop. Urban stations, and it was hard to get hip hop into it. They'll do some R&B. They'll do some hip hop with a kind of R&B kind of feel. But the hard hip hop stuff, they weren't doing that. I got to give it up to Babito and Stretch Armstrong because they really were the lead in breaking that stuff.
Yes.
Man,
I remember that video when oh my God, I can't remember his name right now. When he bust through the wall. Walk this way. When he bust through the wall. I used to watch that video over and over and over and over again as a kid.
That was Aerosmith, right?
Yeah.
Aerosmith, yes.
That was the Aerosmith version. Yeah.
To understand, that's like Jay-Z when he did New York, New York.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To take an artist who's already super platinum, or they're up there, and they're going to say, we want to do something with you. I know the royalties were being like, okay, if you're going to do something with us, we're taking a big chunk. But it didn't matter because it put them on a whole different platform.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, we have so enjoyed having you today, and it's about that time. But we want to make sure that our audience knows where to find you, and we know Hip Hop Boulevard is your baby. So we want to make sure they know how to keep up with you and that project and any other projects that you have going on. Can you just tell everybody where to find you, and how they can keep up with you?
So you can go to our website, hiphopboulevard.hiphop. You go to Instagram, Hip Hop Boulevard #5. You go to Facebook, Hip Hop Boulevard, or you could just buy our sneakers.
Nice.
We just released this month. We're releasing our red and white jammies, our 5th design, and I told you already that I'm pushing the narrative. I'm changing the scope. There's no reason why we shouldn't be in the sneaker business.
Yeah.
We built Adidas. What?
Yes. Where do we find the sneakers?
The sneakers, you can find them on liveshoes.com, Hip Hop Boulevard.
Nice.
And we got them in. Look, let me tell you. Look, come on. Nice green and white for you.
Nice.
All right. I'm not playing. Right there.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
The blue high top.
Nice.
So
nice.
And I heard there's something coming
Size
up
12
December
blacks,
20th,
definitely.
December 20th in the Bronx. There's something coming.
We're doing our toy drive Saturday. John, thank you so much. You've been very incredible with our company and everything, and I know that I cracked the whip, but I'm impressed with your follow through and your commitment, and that's what it takes: commitment and follow through. So I appreciate I
Well, I
appreciate the
wasn't
work.
expecting that, but thanks, though.
But
Okay,
but to
thank
all
you.
all of you here,
Love
all
you.
of you here, look, I commend what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep it as real as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Check people when they're going to the left or they're going to the right. Check them because people need to be checked because everybody they're making up new history. You have to watch out for that.
Yeah.
Wait for my book because my book is gonna drop a lot because there's too much. There's too much fugazi happening now.
Yeah. What's the
Mm.
name of the book? Do you have the name of the book yet? What's the name of the book?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I'm thinking
All
I
right.
knew
about
Well,
a
you was
keep
gonna
us
title.
say that.
posted.
I knew it.
Keep us keep us posted. Because we need to know. We Oh man.
We're gonna need a part two. We're gonna need a part two. He
Yeah,
got
Oh
too
yeah,
much
man, you
history.
definitely got to come
Yeah.
back, Al. Definitely got to come back.
Let me know when you're ready.
all
All right.
right. We'll
Let me
do.
know
That's
when
what
you're
it
ready.
is.
And thank you
All right.
again.
So
Yep.
bye. And always remember Chad D. Joyce from Master Flex. Chad DJ.
Mm.
Mickey Garcia. Carlos Burrius. Omar Santana. Mantronics. These are just some of the members of my record pool.
Mantronics. Ah.
Mm.
Nice.
All right.
All right. All
All right,
right.
fella.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. This is Tasha Woodard, and this is Team Playback, and you can stream us through Blazing
Alpha.
420 on
Blazing.
iHeartRadio, and we just had an amazing interview with Mr. Al Pizarro. So y'all give it up. Thank you again, Mr. Al Pizarro.
Hip
Good
hop
night,
historian.
everybody.
Salute, y'all.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna have our meeting.
Oh, you want to do it now? Oh, it's still on.
We're still alive though.